Hi, I'm outside. It's a beautiful day. It's about 70 degrees and I am shelling chickpeas. I had to jump on here. Welcome back. If you survived my live last night, you're better than me. I am so hungover from that wine. I do not drink wine. Anyway, this is from my HelloFresh. I got this little box of chickpeas. And this is a weird thing, but I cannot stand unless I shell chickpeas. I don't like them. I don't like these weird little skins that are on them. So I sit and I peel every single one off like so. And yes, it's going to take me a while. So let's time it. We're going to just sit here and have chickpea chat. One of the reasons I set my camera up here is, see right behind me, that little thing right there? That's a hummingbird feeder. There's my bird feeder, but there's my hummingbird feeder. So you may see or hear what the hell was that? I think that was my turkey. You may see or hear hummingbirds at this little feeder in the back. So if you see something moving, keep your eyes open. I usually can hear them, so I'll point it out. If I sit really still, they don't mind if I'm sitting here. They come around no matter what. We sit out on our deck and we get swarmed by, sometimes in the summer, like up to 9 of them at a time, which is so cool. Do you have hummingbirds where you are? Do you feed them? I don't know if you knew this, but you have to put the feeders up every year and in the same place, because these little guys are smart, and wherever their food source was, they will come to where the food source was the year before. So on April 30th, usually ours come back every year on May 1st, and they leave the first week of October. So usually I try by the last week of April to put the feeders up. And this year I was late. But I thought, okay, well, I'll put them up on April 30th or right on May 1st, which is my wedding anniversary. And it's kind of cool because my wedding anniversary is Hummingbird Day, unofficial Hummingbird Day here, when they usually come back. So I was going to put the feeders up that day. And sure enough, April 30th in the morning, there's a little female hummingbird in my front window just flying around looking utterly confused, because there's always a feeder in the front window. And she flew right to where that feeder was supposed to be, and it wasn't there. And I felt so guilty. I had to go down in my garage and find the little storage box I put them in for the winter, pull the feeders out. I had to hurry up and make hummingbird nectar, which, if you don't know, is just simple syrup. It's easy to make, only it's not half and half with the sugar. Do not use red food dye. They don't need it. It's not good for them. They do not need it. If you look it up online, the best thing is just regular white sugar. Do not use raw sugar either, which I just found out. My husband, of all people, told me, oh man, my neck is sore. My husband told me don't use, and I am sitting here shelling chickpeas while we're talking. Peeling every little skin off because I'm a neurotic weirdo. My husband was like, why are the hummingbird feeders cloudy? And I said, well, because all I had was raw sugar. I didn't have any white sugar because I don't use white sugar. I use raw or Demerara sugar, but I usually use raw sugar, like the sugar in the raw stuff. And my husband was like, oh my God, don't do that. You can't give the hummingbirds that. And I was like, why? It's sugar. Wouldn't it be healthier? It's like raw. And he said he saw an article or read it somewhere. I forgot what it causes, but it causes some kind of, like, I can't remember if it was a kidney problem or a disease or something that it causes in hummingbirds. And I'm like, holy crap, I had no idea. So he said he saw an article about it online, and he goes, oh, I meant to tell you, but you know, you usually don't use raw sugar for them anyway. And I said, no, I do not like using my raw sugar for the hummingbirds. As much as I love them, raw organic sugar is very expensive, and I use sometimes 2 cups of sugar a week in the height of summer to feed all the hummingbirds here. When we have, like, sometimes the most we've had is like 9 to 11 at one time. And sometimes I have to fill the feeders twice a week. To fill all the feeders takes 1 batch of, well, no, more than 1 batch, a double batch of hummingbird nectar. So what it is, I have this big Martha Stewart glass measuring cup that's like huge, and it fits 8 cups of liquid in it. So it is, what I do is I fill that thing up with water, with boiling water. I usually just throw it in the microwave, but you can boil that much water, or I can fill that up, dump it in a saucepan, boil it. It's easier just to like microwave it. And what I do is I fill that up, and I know that filling that up and adding 2 cups of water or 2 cups of sugar makes the exact right amount of nectar to fill all my feeders. So it's 4 cups of water and 1 cup of sugar. And you have to make sure all the sugar breaks down so there's not crystals in it. And you have to change your hummingbird feeders a lot, because what happens is as they get warm, and in the summer they get gross faster, they get black mold in them, and you don't want to make the hummingbirds sick, so you need to keep your feeders clean. I use vinegar to wash mine out, like a vinegar solution. And in the winter, before I store them for the winter, I usually soak them in bleach solution and get them really clean, rinse them, and then I store them. So you just want to make sure you rinse all the bleach solution out. Anyway, so my husband was flipping out that on April 30th, I had put raw sugar in the feeders. And I said, you know what? They just flew here. They just got here. Their options are raw sugar just for the moment until I can run down to the store, or no food at all, and they need to eat something. And I said, I'm sure just having a little tiny bit of it isn't going to totally kill them, I hope. So I ended up running down, dropping, ugh. Eek. Look, I'm almost done. We're talking and I'm almost done. There's my ones that are shelled, and then I have these to go. By the way, if you do want to do this, I mean, it seems really tedious, but it's not any different than pitting cherries or doing some other... Man, there's some loud birds around here. Sorry. It's not any different than pitting cherries or seeding other things. You know, it's just put on TV or put on some music and sit, and when you squeeze, you just squeeze them and the little things come right off. And I can't stand those. I really can't stand. I have a thing against these stupid little skins. Also, when you make hummus, I learned this from a friend of mine who's a vegan chef. Always, always take all the skins off of your chickpeas. That's why when you have the best hummus, that's super duper creamy. And when you make it at home, it's easier to make it creamy without these little skins on them. Because these things, you know, they make it all like icky and crunchy and everything. So, I mean, if you like the skins, that's fine. But I love that like super creamy hummus. Creamy. So anyway, what was I saying? Hummingbirds. So yeah, I had to run down to the store, get white sugar, make a huge batch of hummingbird nectar, and change all the feeders. My husband was freaking out, and I'm like, look, there was one at the window, and she was like literally almost flying into the window looking for the feeder, and I felt really bad. So I just put a couple of feeders out, and then I got all the other ones out and got the proper sugar and redid them all, and they are very happy. And so far we've had 2 males flying around, and we have a female flying around. And usually every year they fly here and they nest and they have babies. So in the summer, in the spring, we start out having maybe 3 to 5, and then they have babies, and it's really cute because through the summer we see the babies flying around with the... Sorry, Lydia's stuck on a dog bed. What are you doing over there? She's an odd little dog. That's why I love her. So we end up having baby hummingbirds flying around through the summer, which is really neat. So by the end of the summer, we have a bunch more, and then they take off again. And every year, I wish there was a way we could tag them and know if they're the same ones coming back, but I'm pretty sure they're the same ones coming back. Only because, like I said, the one in the front window, she flew, the female, she's the female that always hangs out at the front window hummingbird feeder. I'll have to show you when I film something in my front room on the couch again, like a candle review or something. I'll have to put the camera on the hummingbird feeder in the window. It's really neat. You can sit on the couch and the feeder is right on the outside of the window, and they just fly right up to it. My husband wants to hook up a really nice camera super close to the hummingbird feeder and do some like slow motion video and everything of them. And one of the reasons I love the little hummers so much is my brother Walt loved hummingbirds. My brother Walt, we lost to cancer years ago. He was a pilot and he loved hummingbirds. And every time we see, everyone in the family, every time we see hummingbirds, it's kind of like he's visiting us. I mean, you know, it's just a thing. And eventually I want to get a memorial tattoo for my brother, and it's going to be 2 hummingbirds. It's going to be him and me as hummingbirds, and holding a little banner between that says blue skies. That's a skydiver thing and a pilot thing. You wish each other blue skies so that when you're flying or skydiving, you have safe blue skies to be up there in. So that's one of the tattoos I want to get. I'm waiting until it's been 10 years since we lost my brother, and I want to be really sure of this design, because where I'm going to get it is on my rib cage, and it's going to be incredibly painful. Incredibly painful. But I'm going to do it for my brother, in my brother's memory. My brother's chondrosarcoma, actually his cancer, showed up in his rib cage on his left side. He was having rib pain. He didn't know what was wrong. And his doctor said, "You cracked a rib." And my brother said, "How could I have cracked a rib? I have a desk job. He wasn't doing anything to crack a rib." And when they did x-rays and they did scans and everything, they found that he had a tumor that was in between his ribs that got big enough to crack his rib, which is bad because chondrosarcoma is like a blood, and it's like a bone cancer type of, it gets in your blood and your bones, and chemo doesn't work on it, by the way, which sucks. Chemo has a very low chance of working on it. So he decided not to get chemo, but then you know that your lifespan without it is about 5 years, and that's about how long he fought it. He had mostly all good years. I mean, ups and downs. And hey, look, I'm done with my chickpeas. So there's all the skins I peeled off. And there are all my peeled chickpeas. And these are for another one of my HelloFresh recipes that I'm making. So, oops, I missed one. The other thing you can do is you can let these float in a bowl of water, and it really loosens the skin. Then you can peel them off. But there they are, all peeled. They look great. There's all the icky skins that I don't like. You might think it's a little neurotic, but trust me, try it sometime. Even if you get chickpeas to throw in a salad or something, you can peel some. See if you can tell the difference. Anyway, so yeah, we lost my brother to that almost 5 years from when he was diagnosed. And now every time there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hummingbird feeders around my property so far. I'm always wanting to add more. I think we're going to add more. And I also have in the flower boxes back here. This is not going to be here because we're ripping out and rebuilding this whole deck. But I do have flower boxes up here, and I plant flowers specifically for the hummingbirds that they like. They like lantana, they like anything trumpety shaped, you know, and they like red flowers, of course. So you do any kind of red and pink flowers. I thought, it's weird. They even liked my snapdragons when they were up here, which I thought was really odd. What else did they like? Well, this right here, this is actually a really pretty, super bright red clover plant. And they tend to hang out, and they really like these. Also, the red clover plant, when I get the big red clover buds on it, they get attracted to the feeder there, so that's nice. The whole time I've been talking, not one hummingbird has come by. Where are you guys? They were over at the feeder by my bedroom, though. Anyway, chickpeas are done. Hummingbirds are back, reminding me of my brother. I kind of named, there's a little boy hummingbird that has been hanging out at this one back here, and I just today named him Wally. And my brother's name was Walt, so I named this little hummingbird Wally that keeps hanging out here. He has the most brilliant red, they're ruby-throated hummingbirds, and the ruby on his throat is stunning. It is exceptionally bright for of any of them I've seen around here. And I think he's a usual, too, that comes back every year, because he likes to sit, and he'll sit and perch right on top of that little arm right there, and he just sits there. And I was sitting out here earlier before I had the camera on, and he was just sitting there watching me. And I was looking at him and talking to him, and so I named him Wally because I was thinking of my brother. But there is a picture of my brother that I think I put up the picture of my brother in my 52 Things video, or one of my previous vlogs. And there's a picture of my brother sitting on a back porch, and he's holding a hummingbird feeder, and there are hummingbirds flying around him, and he's holding the feeder. And they're just, there's one by, like, I think there's one over by his ear, and they're flying around his hand. So that's kind of how we all remember my brother. And yeah, so I always feel good in the spring when the hummingbirds come back, because it raises my energy and my happiness level too. I miss my brother, but the hummingbirds are here, so I always feel like there's part of him with me. Yay! Yay! And I'm done with my chickpeas. I gotta go cook. Anyway, that was just a weird little vlog for today. Let me know if you peel your chickpeas. Comment below. Am I the only weirdo who does this? And my friend Dave, who's a vegan chef, who told me to do this? I don't know. I just think they are superior if you want to really... And if you don't like chickpeas, maybe this is one of the reasons, because I was never a fan of them. Then I started peeling them and I liked them a lot better. Just a tip. Let me know if you try that. Let me know if you already do it. Let me know if you never thought about doing it. Comment below. I'll see you in the next one. This was just a goofy little vlog because I was bored peeling chickpeas. So, you know, figured I'd talk to you guys for a little bit. Yummy, yummy. Peel your chickpeas. Don't be gross. Bye.